So today we're going to be talking about something I've been wanting to discuss on the channel for quite some time. All I ask is that you guys have an open mind and just hear me out. We can talk about the details in the comments below. This is episode 100. So right off the bat, guys, I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm still here. I know that the intro might have come across that way, but I'm not quitting. But it is time that we have an honest conversation about the YouTube channel, the growth, the community, you guys, and me. You know, it's time we have a conversation about me. You know, it's a conversation that I don't really want to have, but it's a conversation that I have to have with you guys. You see what I'm saying? And it's not always easy to have these conversations, but it's got to be done. So I have been putting in about 40 hours a week on this YouTube channel for the last month and a half or so, right? And I honestly thought that was going to be enough time. I said to myself, man, if I can get 40 hours a week, it'll be plenty. I mean, the daily dose will go up. You know, my 2 personal plays will go up, and I can still have time to do some trophy and achievement videos, whether that be standard trophy videos for the vault or whether that be RTC guides. And I got to tell you guys, I've worked this thing every angle. 40 hours is not enough time. It is just not enough time. When I think back to when I was really hitting it hard on this YouTube channel, I mean, hitting every playlist, videos coming out on the constant, right? I was putting in about 15 hours a day. Because you guys remember I worked from home. So I had that one client. On days where that client didn't need me, I literally did YouTube all day long. And so right now I'm getting about half the time, and I'm still trying to cram. I'm basically cramming 80 hours of work. I'm trying to cram it into 40 hours. And the level of stress and pressure, and we're not even into the thick of it yet, because I haven't even started covering trophies again, which I will start back when the Nathan Drake collection drops. That's going to be the first game I get. You guys remember, I haven't done a trophy video since Watch Dogs. Now, I've done the Order 1886. I've done a guide for that, but you get my point. An actual 2-minute trophy video or a 10-minute trophy video where we're getting collectibles or something like that, that hasn't happened since Watch Dogs. And that's about to come into effect in October again, once we get there. And so I'm just having to make some tough decisions right now. I don't mind putting in my 40 hours a week to this YouTube channel. I don't. If I could put in more, I would. But I can't Marty McFly this thing and just make time. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. I can't rub some magic lamp and have a genie grant me 3 wishes. Of course, one of those would be unlimited time, and I'd put it right here into the YouTube channel. It just doesn't work that way. I have a job where I'm putting in 50+ hours a week, and then as soon as I get home, I work on YouTube. That's the best I can do, and I give it another 40 hours a week, and then I sleep the rest. That's my life. And it's just too much right now. So we're gonna have to restructure this thing. Now, I gotta be honest with you, and this may not be something you guys want to hear, but it has to be said. There's one show on this channel that sucks up a majority of my time. You know, if I look at my 40-hour week, this one show is probably 24 to 29 hours of that 40. You see what I'm getting at, right? There's not much time left to work on some of these other playlists, and this kind of time commitment would not allow me to survive if I started doing trophy videos again, because they require a lot more work, especially if I start doing RTC guides. It gets even crazier because those things are tough to put together editing wise. So when I look at this one show, it sucks up all my time. And that is the Daily Dose. I've been thinking about it for a couple of months. I've been talking it over with Dormouse03, L1 Gaming, Gaming Arcadia, HD, my brother, and I don't know, man. The consensus is kind of like that's the one show that's keeping me from being able to do all the videos that I could be doing and would allow us to grow. I mean, when you look at this channel, the heartbeat of the channel is trophy guides. Not even necessarily the RTC guides. I'm just talking about a standard trophy video. That's what grows this community. And when I started the Daily Dose and when I started all these other playlists, it was kind of because when B.A. Baker.15, you guys know he's the guy who helped me run the channel before he left. That was something that we put into play before he left. And I'm so stubborn that I was like, you know what? I can still pull it off. I'm freaking Xonevant, son. You know what I mean? I stare challenges right in the face. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'm crazy like that. And I did it. I said, not only am I going to keep the channel going, but I'm going to pull off everything that we've put up on this whiteboard. I'm going to pull them all off, which was Let's Plays and a daily show and a Q&A show, which I've got that up on the channel. I don't get around to it much, but I did start it. But now I'm finding out that I just can't do it. I can't. I want to. It's not a question of whether I want to. I just can't. You know, I'm a big UFC boxing fan, and I watch these boxers. They get hit in the face. I watch these UFC fighters get punched right square in the nose, blood just coming out, and they just keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. That's me, man, when it comes to life. I don't stop. But there's a difference between getting hit and walking forward and getting hit and getting knocked out. When you're knocked out on the canvas and you're unconscious, there's simply nothing that you can do. There's no amount of will you can have to get out of that situation, not until you regain consciousness, right? And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm just knocked out. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with my will to want to do it. It's not like I woke up yesterday and I was like, you know, I don't want to do that show anymore. I'm just not going to do it anymore. So far from reality. You know what I mean? I've just been knocked out, and I only have so much time, and I have to spend that time producing shows or producing videos. How can I say this? Editing to the point where I can get more videos up, a more wide variety of videos up. That's what I'm trying to say. Hit up all the playlists. But if I've got one playlist that's sucking up more than 50% of my time, it becomes impossible. Now, I got to be honest with you. I was thinking about just canceling the show completely. Just canceling it. I said it's going to suck for me. It's going to suck for the community. But if we really want to grow as a community, that's the one show that I would have to let go until I get more time down the line. If something happens and I can get more time, then of course I'll do it every day. You guys remember season 1 of the Daily Dose? We didn't miss a show. Now, one of them might have been late every now and again, but that's because I was editing. But 365 shows went up that first year. That's because I had time. That's what time looks like, folks. That's what time looks like. You remember when BioShock Infinite came out and I was putting up 12 videos a day? You remember when Medal of Honor and Assassin's Creed came up within a week and I did both of them as an RTC? I had both of those games covered in 2 weeks. That's what time looks like, folks. And your boy Xonevant just don't have that kind of time anymore. And I've been lying to myself, thinking I can cram 80 hours into 40 hours and everything will be all right. And I won't be stressed and I won't, but I have been. And I think you guys don't want me to be stressed. I think you guys want me to be happy. I would hope that you want me to be happy, but it's going to come at a price. You know, it's going to come at a price of us losing, well, we would have lost one of the shows. And I'll get to this in a second, because I did think about canceling this show. But after talking with Dormouse 03 and Gaming Arcadia and L1 Gaming, like I said, and my brother, we were like, hey, we don't have, the show can still go on, but it just has to change. And there's some stuff that we've been talking about to kind of transition into 2016. I'm not going to talk about that now, so we can keep the show going. But for now, right now in September, we got to make it to the end of the year. And I haven't put up a show in about a week or two with the Daily Dose, because I've been honestly avoiding this conversation. This is just not a conversation I wanted to have. But sometimes you got to man up and do these things. Luckily, we've got some good people in this community. Like I said, they've talked to me and they've said, hey, why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? A lot of ideas have been thrown out on the table. And we finally came to one that we like. And you guys know that the last couple of weeks we've been putting up the podcast. You know, we just get together on the weekends and we just talk about whatever. And I've been putting up little 10-minute clips and stuff. And just kind of feeling you guys out to see whether I would hear comments like, we don't want to hear all these people on there. We just want to hear you. You know, I was looking for those kind of comments. And you know what? Never got them. There's nothing but positive that has come from these podcasts. In fact, some of these podcast type daily doses have been getting just as many views as we would get me doing a solo show, or more views. And you guys know I don't track views. I don't look at views like other YouTubers look at views. Like, I don't look at views as money. I look at views as growth, interaction. The more views we're getting, the more cool the video is, right? And the more that there's comments going on in the comment section. And what I find fascinating is that once we started doing those podcast type shows, the interaction didn't really go off any. It either stayed the same, or in most cases it went up. And so I think it was our second hangout that we did. They were like, hey, why don't we just do the podcast, and you just, you know, we'll talk about as many topics as we can talk about, and then just chop it up and edit those in and create the Daily Dose. And I was like, that's a good idea. I said, I don't know how the community is going to feel about it, but it's either that or no show at all. And so what we're going to do between now and the end of the year is just kind of see how this thing goes. At least you guys will have something to watch. I'll still be on there, but you guys will have the pleasure of listening to Dormouse 03, Gaming Arcadia HD, and L1 Gaming. And we're thinking about getting a guest on as well. Some other YouTubers. And instead of it just being my angle on situations, you'll get to hear it from multiple angles. And I think that will encourage more interaction anyway. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to hop in there every now and again and do a solo show, but only when I have the time. You see what I'm saying? Because there are some things that I just want to talk to you guys about from me to you. Like Uncharted's going to get some DLC in the campaign. I want to talk about that. So if we can't cover that in a podcast type show, I'll do one on that eventually. So that's going to be kind of the standard going forward between now and the end of the year. We're going to monitor kind of how that works. And you guys feel free to give us solid feedback, okay? Honest feedback. And once I get that feedback, I'll know where to go in 2016. I have ideas in mind to pull off a solo daily dose like we did in season 1, where we get all the shows up by myself. But like I said, I don't want to do that in the middle of a season. So we just got to make it to December. And then I can figure out my own personal format going into 2016. Or you guys might go, hey, we like this interaction. Keep this going. So all is well in the world, right? We're not canceling the show. And thank God we're not. But I got to be honest with you, I was thinking about it. Because I just needed to get some time back for me to work on some of these trophies, right? Because that's what's going to grow the channel. So, you know, I just appreciate having good friends like Dormouse and Gaming Arcadia and L1 and some of you guys too, where getting that interaction, that feedback really helps steer this ship. It's a lot of pressure on me to work 50 hours at my job, 50 plus hours. I think last week I was close to 70 hours. I think last Thursday I worked, or it was Wednesday into Thursday. I went in Wednesday morning at 9:15 in the morning, and I got off Thursday morning at 9:13. I was literally at my job for 24 hours. Not because I was forced to be there, but because, you know, I have a contract that I've signed with my job, and I have to get certain things done. And sometimes I'm on a crazy deadline, and that's just the roll of the dice that I get. There's some days where I go in there and I just pull 6 hours. But I was there for 24 hours straight. So you can imagine trying to come home and run a YouTube channel. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. And I don't see it getting any easier as we go into holiday, because my job, we do retail online. So it's going to get wild. I'm not going to have much time for anything. I mean, 7 days a week, no days off. I mean, I think I've had 3 days off in the last probably 21 to 25 days at my job. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to get any easier anytime soon. So it's time we just make the tough decisions. So anyway, you guys can let me know what you think about it in the comments. Thanks for sticking around. I know this is kind of a long commentary, but I just, you know, had to get this stuff off my chest.